Hi, and welcome to week 3, Historiography and Biblical Inerrancy. This is a great week, and congratulations, by the way, on finishing week 2 as well. But in week 3, we're going to have 3 goals: to express how key historical, archaeological, geographical, structural, and cultural background issues affect the historiography of the historical books; then to articulate a position on the historicity of biblical historiography; and finally, to explain why affirming biblical history is important for church teaching and ministry. So a lot of very heavy topics are going to be discussed. In assignment 3.1, which is called We Believe assignment, articulate what you believe about biblical history in conversation with the alternative belief available today. This assignment has 2 parts. So in part 1, drawing from the readings, which means that I'm looking for support from your reading assignments this week, and your own research, meaning outside research, write a 100-word doctrinal statement that concisely summarizes what you believe and do not believe about the historicity of biblical historiography. Address some of the major objections covered in this week's reading. So I'm looking for primarily support from the reading to support your belief and your doctrinal statement on historiography. In addition, I am looking for at least one quote, reference, or citation from an outside source and some biblical support for your position. So that's part 1 of the assignment. Part 2 of the assignment is then, in a 2 to 3 page essay, provide support, meaning evidence, citations, outside research, for your claims and explain their importance to the life of the church. So reflection, looking with support on how this benefits the church. Include citations from class readings and at least 2 other academic published sources. By that, we're not talking about internet sources. So you're going to want to use Logos, or you can use the internet, but it needs to be a published source, not just one that not an internet website that you're quoting. So a lot of work this week talking about, and let me go back and just reiterate. So articulate what you believe about biblical history, that's inerrancy, historiography, accurateness, all of that, in conversation with the alternative beliefs today. So to do that, you really need to understand what are differing views on biblical history and inerrancy. Then in assignment 3.2, answering critical scholarship. Find a published book, monograph, which is a book, or essay that takes a critical view of the historicity of the historical book. So you're looking for some outside paper or book that believes the Bible is not historically accurate, and there are lots of them out there. If you are having trouble finding a resource, you may use any of the articles or authors referred to and critiqued in this week's reading. So when you read this week's reading, make a note on, okay, so this book, this paper disagrees that in fact the Bible is historically accurate. That's due Monday at midnight. For this topic, try the ATLA, American Theological Library Association database, which as Moody students you should know how to use. You must log in using your Moody account first, or you could use Logos if you have that available for this class. Here are some subjects to try to use when searching: Old Testament history and dating, Old Testament historiography, Old Testament criticism, literary, Old Testament study and teaching methodology. You can also Google and use things like historicity of the Old Testament, or lack of historicity, or historical errors in the Old Testament, any of those. In a 2 to 3 page paper, respond to the published literature by assessing its claims about the historicity of biblical historiography and presuppositions about the nature, inerrancy, of Scripture. So, 2 assignments, no discussion posted this week. Be sure to use citations. We're calling for Turabian in this class. If you use MLA, that's fine, but use it correctly. Include outside research. Engage with biblical passages. And then call me or email me with any questions. Have an awesome week. Thanks for all your hard work this semester. I think we're coming along really well and hitting the meat of the course now. Have a great day.